Hello. Okay. Hello, we are live. Welcome to part 15 of Weedwife's remedy. We are going to do the cartography of my heart, which is on page 70 today. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good and everything. You're going to hear a little extra fan action probably. I don't have any air conditioning in this room, and it's like super muggy and gross. Hi, Elaine. Hello. So yeah, as the summer goes on, it's probably going to be just some extra fan action. So, how are you, Elaine? Did you did anyone catch any of the Tarathon that was on Sunday? I didn't catch a lot of it live. That is fine. What am I looking for? Oh, discussion questions. All right. So I thought of a bunch of discussion questions, but we're not. That's too many. So. Okay. So, discussion question, something to think about while we talk. How can where you live inspire your herbalism? What does the word home mean to you? And yeah, we'll get to the other ones when I get to them. So, oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm on live chat. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna start from the deep south swampland to New Mexico's canyon country. I started this last week, but I'm just going to well, I guess we shouldn't just go back over it. So actually, we're going to start on page 72. So if you missed last week, it's the tail. Hey, Heather! It's the tail end of the discussion. We read page 70 and 71. So I'm going to start with given to the green, learning herbalism through place, hence the discussion questions. And this is a quote from Rosemary Gladstar. I remember tasting my first wild mustards, cress, and dandelion greens. I knew I was being entered into. While I only half listened to the talk of the people, I immersed myself fully in the language of the green. Everything in me felt green. I felt the plants singing in me, making me their songs. That's Rosemary Gladstar's quote. So yeah. So how can where you live inspire your herbalism? What does the word home mean to you? Or do you even think that it's possible for your environment to influence herbalism? I could not have become an herbalist if I hadn't found my home. I've said that before and had well-meaning listeners correct me and tell me I could be an herbalist anywhere, but they were wrong. I mean, theoretically you can be, because there's plants everywhere. But for her, this wasn't the case. But they were wrong. For me, my work as a healer is entirely rooted in this wild volcanic canyon a few hours north of the Mexican border. While I've been fascinated by plants since I was a small child, I only learned to listen to them as allies in healing when I came to New Mexico. Back then, I was all raw emotional wounds and damaged nervous system, barely able to speak to strangers without shaking, completely handicapped by my anxiety with the weight of my history bearing down on me in every moment. When I first arrived in the canyon, I was interested in plants and had spent a great deal of time gardening and had gained a basic knowledge of field guides, herbs, and raw foods. Medicinal plants especially intrigued me, and even as a young girl, I have used garden plants to make simple infused vinegars and teas, but my experience was limited to the most common herbs. I had always intended to learn more about them, but as a single mother of a toddler, while living a nomadic and usually rural life, herbalism had never managed to become a priority. Oh, that's okay, Elaine. Once I arrived in the canyon, not only was I in need of healing, but the plants themselves seemed to be the only thing I could look at. Oh, and I just want to say that I'm working on that tincture video. My setup isn't very conducive to the type of video that I would like to do. So I did like part 2 first, and now I'm doing part 1. So yeah, so but it's a little involved to both make the tinctures and then film it at the same time. I would really love to do it like cooking channel style, where they have like the table, the camera, and then you're behind the table and you just do it all right there and you're just shooting it. But I have an extremely small kitchen and it just does not do that. So I'm basically like I was outside shooting like the straining of the tincture sort of close up. But I just want to tell everyone that I'm working on it. Oh, cool! Can't wait. Yeah. It'd be easier if I had a slightly bigger kitchen, but it's very narrow. So, and the light's bad. So we're on page 73. From the moment I woke up, I was enraptured by the leaves and stems and blossoms. From the razor-sharp leaves of bear grass to the silver, soft flower buds of sagewort, I was completely caught up in the sight, smell, feel, and more of Gilla's wild green world, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. The floristic diversity of the arid lands of the American Southwest is incredible. At first glance, the land can seem barren and is often called a wasteland, though the reality is that the only place in the country that compares to the diversity here is southern Appalachia. Heather says, I've always been drawn to plants everywhere I've lived, but I couldn't live somewhere without moss. Awesome. Okay. Oh, we're doing outside. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing the videos. What draws you to moss so much, Heather? Yes! Moss is cool. I don't know if it has any like medicinal value. I mean, we definitely have moss here. And me and Heather live in, I don't know, Heather, are you considered still Southern Appalachia? Since you're like past the mountains. But I definitely do live in Southern Appalachia, and it is a very biodiverse region. It's one of the most biodiverse. It's lush, moist, and it's like a micro-universe where fairies can live. Okay, so it really inspires you and your imagination and that sense of wonder and all that stuff. And that, I think that's really important. You know, you can, yeah, that's what it's about. My wonderment was obsessive, and itself helped to ease some of the chronic pain I was dealing with. To be able to focus so completely on the complex floralistic communities of the canyon allowed me to experience something besides my aching body and intense anxiety. Well, that's a great description of it. Yeah. Definitely feeling like a damp rainforest today in here. Woo! It was in the throes of this life-altering illness that I first began to understand the language of plants. This reach of green world filtered through my every sense, overwhelming me with the intensity of feeling. I've been spending intentional time with plants since toddlerhood. Never before had an indigo tinted blossom captured my attention with such striking singularity. Never before have I been so completely on learning everything I possibly could about anything. It was this obsession and this illness that led me to practicing as an herbalism as a simple extension of the fact that I couldn't stop thinking or talking about plants, and wanted to share everything I learned with everyone else who cared about these magical rhizomes, leaves, flowers, and seeds. So I definitely, so for me, like, I share everything about plants, whether they care or not. Yeah. So I had this, because where I used to work, you know, I worked in the supplement department, so everyone was interested in like plants and natural stuff, and so, you know, and then I switched to working in like shipping and printing, and no one was interested in it. So it was really difficult for me to stop talking about that so much. Ugh, the humidity. I know, right? Oh, it's so bad. I bet there's a lot of moss in Scotland. I bet there is. There's loads of moss, Heather. I have some in my garden. I wish I could touch it. Oh. I'd look for fairies in it. And there would be, where there was moss, there would be mushrooms. Oh my goodness, I'll post a picture in our group sometime. I've been a bit absent on Facebook. It's the summer weather and long days. Yes, that would be awesome. You know, if there are fairies, there will be fairies in Scotland. So, so yeah, I can understand what she's experiencing. Does anyone else feel like this? They could just blab on about plants. And also this, there's another issue she brings up is that she has this chronic illness, and it's very painful for her. So in a sense, she is sort of using a distraction technique to help her with her pain. And it also, I've been through something similar, although I sort of did it with video games, you know, and it is something that you know, and then she used this to sort of move her life forward, and it ended up being a real healing experience. I could talk to plants and garden 24/7. I know. Was it hot out there for you today, Heather? So it's really interesting, and I really like her sharing her experience. That's one of the reasons I like this book a lot, because interspersed with her talking about the plants, you know, she's talking about herself and her plant experience, and I think that's really cool. All right, you guys. So has anyone thought about our questions? Well, Heather has answered it. Yes, she said moss. And not every place has moss, so and that definitely inspires her. And but home is an interesting idea, you know, and it doesn't home is like a feeling. And it can be tied to a place, it can be tied to a person, it could be tied to like an experience. I don't know. But I think for everyone it's really important. Oh yes, we had a brief 5-minute rain shower, which made it worse. We did too. It poured, and then the sand came out, and it was just like oppressive humidity. I think it's the first time it's done that though this year. All right. I'm so sorry. What's the question? I'm so unprepared. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So the questions are, how can where you live inspire your herbalism? What does the word home mean to you? And then I also have another one for this. Another section we're coming up is, what are the pros and cons of studying a large number of plants versus studying a small number of plants? So that's another one. I got inspired by this chapter. I really did. Oh, thank you, Heather. So those are the discussion questions, and here is the other one. I didn't want to throw too many, but I had so many. But we have a large array, so, you know, answer for everyone to answer. Yeah, so that's it. I have 3. So we're going to continue on page 74. Oh, sorry, Heather says it might be simple, but I'm home around nature. Awesome. Yeah, cool. Home for me is the land that I roam. Yeah. I want to say as well for me, also with my family, you know, but I definitely do feel a connection with this land that I'm in, and I would just definitely feel it if we had to leave. So I suppose it depends on your ability to focus. Oh, right. For a con of studying, pro and con for studying a large amount of plants. Yeah, that definitely. that can be, if you're able to learn a whole lot of information at once, then cool. If you're not, it's just all gonna go everywhere. Yeah, I agree with that. So this is going to be the herbs of home towards a wild medicine. And this is a quote by Ed Oddie. This is the person. And I don't know this person. One breath of juniper smoke, like the perfume of sagebrush after rain, evokes in magical catalysts, like certain music, the space and light and clarity and piercing strangeness of the American West. I wish maybe it's back here somewhere where she got the quote from. It does sound like an author who's writing a book about West, not necessarily an herbalist to me. He says, I like the idea of focusing on a few, but I want to know all the plants. I agree, Heather. And that's an issue I definitely have. Miss Susan Weed, her philosophy is, you learn a couple plants very, very well. When I went to herb school, we were covering 60 plants, and that was too much. And I unfortunately didn't graduate because of health issues. I was a few classes shy, so but like just the sheer like memorization of it, and just so much. And the cool thing about I think it's a real con to study too many at once. That makes sense. Susan. Yeah. Just because it's hard to get to know all the plants on this kind of a deep level, and the plants do so much. So you can learn just a few, and you would know a whole lot, which is really cool. And then you can slowly like add more. But there's probably a pro in there, but some people might do better learning a whole bunch at once. But everyone has their own learning style. So 74. The way I practice and study herbalism has been deeply rooted in this place and its particular plants since the very beginning. While many herbalists sensibly extend their materia medica beyond their own regional boundaries and purchase or recommend herbs of commerce for their clients, I have stubbornly clung to the herbs of the Southwest. For me to feel effective in what I do, I need not to only have a relationship with the people I work with, but also with the plants. Elaine says, I think it makes sense to study a few because you can only go find so many. Hold, touch, smell, right, work with so many, and there's definitely a limit, I think. Says, my friend focuses on plants and medicines that benefit their own health and wellness. Okay, that's another way to study. Like, say, like if you have arthritis, you're studying the plants that help with that, or like if you want to support your heart, or mine would be like digestion. And basically I know a lot about digestion just for like just because I'm using plants to help with that. So like I've got turmeric and tulsi in here, which are both very good for digestion. I have IBS, so it's mind and body, which are both of these, although tulsi tends to make me a little sleepy, so a little spacey, which is not the best for like book club, but it also is very calming. And turmeric is fantastic for like everything. So she grows what she needs. Yeah, that's cool. She also grows for friends and family. Yeah. And I do believe that you don't need to get your herbs from like some exotic locale. You know, even if you live in a place that's less biodiverse than where I live and where she lives in New Mexico, there are still a lot of plants. I mean, I went to Texas visiting my parents, and there was cleavers, there was chickweed, there was rosemary. So just those 3 plants. I mean, chickweed, the season was very short because it likes cool and it likes wet, and you know, Texas is hot, dry, and very hot, and very hot. Um, uh, and and there were probably many more, but you know, just those 3 plants, you know, you could probably do a lot. And I think that's really cool about herbalism is all the plants, as we've been going through, you can see they have a lot of actions and they help a lot of systems, you know. So I think one of the places I was struggling to find plants was at the beach when I lived at the beach. I think that was sort of the hardest place, and it's just because like I think that bioregion was so different from where I previously lived, and also I wasn't feeling good. You know, been having these chronic illnesses, so I just wasn't able to dive into that world. But it would be cool if I had. I know cattails grew there, and you can because it was also swampy, and there was a sound. We lived by a sound and the ocean as well. I know you can use cattails as like a wild food, which is really cool. And I can't remember if it has any medicinal value, so I did learn that. But I kind of a missed opportunity, but I just was having a lot of issues, so sometimes it's a little difficult to do that, to step out of that. And, so I bracketed this little paragraph here because I thought it was cool. Seaweed, right? Yes, I know. it was a tough time. And I was just sort of starting the planty journey, but yeah, right. Seaweed is a duh. Probably some of the grasses, but yeah. I still need to get a book on seaside plants. I think that would be really awesome. I don't know of one, so if anyone knows of one, you know, let me know. You would have missed it too. Yeah. I mean, they did have some of the plants that I know, because we, you know, there was still your plantain, your chickweed, and dandelions and all that stuff. So they just grow pretty much almost everywhere. But probably chickweed does not grow in the desert. So this paragraph I thought was really, really cool. I do. Okay, so she allies with the people and allies with plants. I do this through allying with a select number of herbs that grow in abundance, where I can gather them without any harm to their community, which is also really important. I focus essentially on each plant, learning as many applications as possible for every single one, rather than spreading my focus out over many plants and using each one for a specific purpose, as is more popular in the American herbal community. And as I've gone through several different herb school experiences, and I feel like that is my experience as well, that like learning less plants at a time is sort of less common or less encouraged. But I do think that it's better. My way is more old-fashioned and in some ways more difficult, for many of the plants I love have very little written about them and are rarely discussed in herbal forums or groups, which is really cool because she moved to this place where there's a bunch of plants that she's like digging into. Like, I'm sure she had to dig into all these like old herbals, and like it's really cool. Like, you know, I mean, I think I think there's still like a lot of people that have not heard about chickweed, and there's still people that confuse plantain with the banana plantain. When I talk about it, I have to stress that difference. So even a lot of the plants that we feel like we know are common, I think that they're still not as common in, like, not as talked about in the general population, but they are in the herbal books. But and she is talking about even harder to find in the herbal books. Heather says lots were where, but you would need to know about the species was that they were growing there and how it was usually different at the seaside. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And then that's why I still want to pick up a book of seaside plants. I don't. Yeah, if anyone knows if there's an herbal book written about plants at the sea, just pop it in the comments, or you know, or if you're a member of the Facebook group, pop it in the Facebook group. Many people still miss identifying dandelion. Yes, they do. And also, I've been watching some people, some other herbalists talk about plant identification, and I've heard about those. You know, I think we've mentioned you could use an herbal app, identifying app, but they caution about that because that app can misidentify things, and the app did misidentify a dandelion. So it's very important. The best identifying is still like doing it without the app, but you can use it in addition to like several, like maybe identification books and other stuff like that. But just don't totally rely on the app, because they've been finding out that these apps are not, they can misidentify herbs, which is an issue. People, yeah, someone I knew couldn't tell the difference between nettle and raspberry leaf recently, but it's because they're not used to looking. Right, yes, several species have similar flowers but completely different leaves and growth habits. They do, yes. I mean, it's easy. It's best if you want to identify something, you identify when it is blooming. But the leaves definitely play. You have to look at the whole plant as well. And Elaine, what you're talking about, they often refer to it as like the green wall, where everything looks the same. But as you start learning about the plants, you're starting to see that everything is not the same, and it's not all just this wall of green, and it's got all this like you'll be able to pick out the different plants. Yes, the green wall. Yes. I saved 7 songs, while crafting tip video, which is really good, and also this live from Herb Mentor to my herbal. I have a playlist on my channel. It's like Herbal Wisdom or something like that, where I just save all the videos. I think is really cool. And those two are really good. Seven Song had a lot of tips on like how when you're going to go wild crafting outside of the area you live in. I usually don't run into the issues he's talking about because I am, you know, wild crafting just in known places where like I'm just, you know, driving, you know, 20 minutes or something. And diversity is in the details. Yes, it is. Yes. So the plants don't all look the same, and neither do we. So very, very good. Yes, exactly. Very, very important to remember. So, yeah. But you have to get to know them, you know, to see them, what they look like, and you know, and then you can see that you know, that mugwort from the highway going like, you know, 65 miles an hour, or that pop of yellow from the mullein that's blooming, or, you know, and then that's really fun. Or in the distance, you're like, that's chickweed, because it's this dark, greeny kind of color, and you can go up and you'll be like, yeah. Yes, introduce yourself to the plants, right? Was that? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Yes. Say hi. This is me. Hi. And then you get to know them. You know. Yes. Yes. All right. Continuing on. But here in the Gila, on the border between mountains and deserts, rivers and grasslands, countries and people, we are still very much immersed in the old ways. Hispanic wisdom, hard-bitten mountain men sense, and native knowledge retain their hold. Bear fat is a cure-all here. Nearly everyone knows how to use at least one plant for medicine, and wild meat is valued above all the other food. Outsiders sometimes see the landscape here as harsh or extreme, while locals can't understand why anyone would ever live anywhere else. But all who pass through the enchanted lands of the Southwest recognize its magic, sensuality, and power. The plants here tend to be exceptionally medicinally active, full of the wild energy of an untamed land. The terrain itself is incontestably sentient. Incontestably sentient, and often surreal in composition and color. Every morning I wake up amazed. This is where I belong, and I revel in the joy of knowing the place I'm called to. Hi, Sonia! I'm trying to watch, but it's buffering. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you keep having that problem. You had that problem last week. Ugh. It sucks when it like freezes on like every other word. Well, I'm glad you're here, even though it's buffering. There's nothing quite as satisfying as healing that comes from home. The process of gathering plants by hand, preserving them with fermentation, fat, or honey, and then applying them in need, celebration, or health, is one that takes us deeper and deeper into relationship and intimacy with the matrix that we belong to. In order to further this relationship, I continually simplify, looking for the virtual core of what healing and herbalism is. Ooh. I think it brings us back to that onion that we were talking about last week, and how you just keep peeling and peeling and peeling. And herbalism is like that. It's just really like you just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and learning more and more and more, and that's really cool. So yeah, Heather, my video upload is quick, but now lives buffer. I traded one for the other. Oh no! I love the connection she has to her homeland. I do too, Elaine. I do too. That's really awesome. Kind of jealous, you know. Yeah. It's not that I don't feel like I have a connection, but you know, she gets to be immersed in it, and I would like to be able to have the opportunity to be immersed in it, instead of like, you know, getting to go out to my friend's land and wildcraft for a day and hang out with her and just like rolling in the mugwort, taking over her garden, you know, and just be like, and then coming back home and like speedily doing my oil making and, you know, and, you know, and then I'm going to work. I'm doing all the, well, right now I'm not going to work because I'm laid off. So, but yeah, I would love to do, I mean, I do make my products for my shop, and that is really cool. But, you know, I feel like it's different than like being able to like work as she does. I think a lot of us would like to do that. She's living the life, definitely, Heather. Not as many outside distractions. No, she's able to, you know, she makes her living as an herbalist. She's able to go out and make her medicines and see people, and I guess obviously she probably makes a little bit from writing books, but she's getting to do this. And you know, we were actually reading about her journey in this chapter too. Like, she didn't start out here, and this is how she found her place. So woke up every day and just stepped into it. Yeah, and that would be so cool, right? You know, get up, and I mean, it reminds me of like summer camp when I got to go to like sleepaway camp, and it was a really awesome camp. My parents, well, they came into a little extra money because they sold this expensive like piano thing that was anyway, it was donated to, it was a long story, but anyway, they spent it on me and my brother, and it was amazing. We got to go to this camp that was like all these rich kids went to. But the camp was really great. They had like the best food, and like you would just like wake up and you were there, and then you didn't have to, you ate and then you got out in it. It was really a really great experience. You know, I think a lot of like there's some herbal internships where you can like live on someone's land and then learn from them. And then you've never been to summer camp? So I went to Girl Scout camp, which was a week, and that was horrid. So it does depend on the camp and your experience. But this camp was called Eagle's Nest, and it was just amazing. And I'm really just thankful. I went with my friend, yeah, it was amazing. I mean, my summers were barefoot and free. Well, see, it was like camp. similar. You just never went away. You know, I mean, in part it was a little sad because a lot of these kids, like, they went off to boarding, like, these were rich kids. They went off to boarding school during the school season, and their parents shipped them off to camp in the summer, so they were, like, never home. I mean, you know, your heart just, like, went out for them. Like, they just never seemed to see their parents. So it was really interesting on that level. So I went to bed until I was 10. Oh no! Well, that could complicate going to camp, because you do still have all those, you know, social things going on. And no parents, you have counselors, but no parents. So yeah. And I was like a counselor in training for the Y, which is a day camp, which is also a different experience. So I think it could go either way, but too much information? No. No, if you're okay with sharing that, I'm okay. I don't think anything worse of you. So, you know, it happens. And I know it's one of those embarrassing things, but we all have had those things about us that, you know, it's just we're human, you know. Being human can be very messy because we're in this physical body. So, yes. We love you, Heather. So, you know, like, this is I mean, this is probably the reason why I love herbalism, because I think it does take in consideration your mind and your body. And if anyone gets to listen to the literary witches, they did Sylvia Plath, Kelly Bear, and Becca. It was amazing. They talk about mental health. The fact that we consider, like, talk about mental health, like, it's not connected with physical health, which is crazy because your head is a part of your body. So it's just amazing. If you're, I mean, I didn't read the book, but I didn't feel like I needed to be part of the discussion. And I was like, man, I want to read the book now, or get it on tape. So, yeah, we're talking about herbalism, bodies and herbal. Yes, need to catch up with that. Yes, yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. It took a tiny bit for them to get going, but once they did, it was just like, it was amazing. And I was out running, and then I was trying to type and comment without my glasses when I was walking while I was trying to. Anyway, I was gonna say something, and I got off track. Oh no! I'm usually better at going back. Okay. So I apologize, guys. Okay, maybe I'll remember it. Oh my gosh. Haha. Yeah, it's gone. If anyone remembers what I was talking about before I started talking about camp, let me know. No, before that. I'm going to continue. What is that? Oh, I remembered. Okay, we're talking about being immersed in, like, the herbal world, and how, like, a lot of us aren't just able to do that. Oh yeah, sorry, okay. Yes, yes. Kelly Bear is doing a series with Becca on the literary witches. It's a deck based on a book, I believe. And then with all these female authors, they pull a card each month for the author they're going to read. Everyone goes, reads it, and then they discuss. It's on Kelly Bear's channel. So it's great. I hardly ever catch it live, but oh, okay. So some of the internships, which I'm also unable to internships, apprenticeships. A lot of them you're living on someone's land in a rustic situation, and you are helping them out with like their garden, their herbal business, and then you might get a little bit of money every month, but that's how you're doing your internship, your apprenticeship, and so you're really immersed in it. And I think that's cool if you can do that. But I just can't. But it sounds like she lives like that, except that she's also has her house, probably some sort of dwelling that let's see, being in a place where you feel totally involved. Yes. Oh, you thought it might trigger my memory. Oh, okay. So okay. So I had it right the first time. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Now we're on the same page. Yeah, so if you can do one of those apprenticeships, do it. I think it'd be awesome. I think you would learn a lot. And everything else. If you can't, then you can't. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And I think it's like one plant at a time is the slow way. Doing one plant at a time is the slow way, where you have all your life, but also a deep level of study. Yes, and for some people, it is a lifelong passion, a lifelong something they want to be involved with. They feel strongly about. Others, it's just sort of maybe they're want to experience it, but they don't stay with it. And a lot of herbalists say that they never stop learning because there's always a new plant. There's always something to learn about an old plant, which is really cool. And I feel like oh gosh, I'm so old, but you're never too old to start, learning about this stuff. And just my life, I've gone and done things a little older than I think a lot of people have. And I'm actually thinking about going back to college at 40. It'll be 42 years old. So, but yeah, I think if I had known about if I had stumbled into this love of herbalism before I was 28 years old and before I was hit by all this chronic illness, look how much I could have learned, but you can't think like that, yes, maybe, but I know I love it now. I know it's something I want to do and be involved with in a big way in my life. So, we just go from there, and good for you. Thank you, Elaine. Yes. Well, the same thing with college. I used to just be caught up with, oh, I don't know what I'm going to study. I don't know. But I just decided that I was just going to start back and take the required classes that didn't transfer from when I went to college 20 years ago, and just go from there. I'm just going to do that and see what happens. And it's amazing what a pandemic and going to a new job and then working that new job for a month and then getting laid off that new job and then being out of work and then contemplating your future, and then also a pandemic and all the protesting going on and everything else will do to a person. Also I've had a lot of time. So, I'm going to go find a job part-time. I'm not going to try to go full-time. And then I'm going to just dip my toe in this school thing, go real slow. And I don't care how old I am. I want to not work at retail my whole life. I want to find something I can do that I feel strongly about. But I feel like I wake up in the bed every morning like she does, and it's like, I can't believe this is the place I'm in, and that's what I'd like. I know the feeling, same way, but there's no point. We have the rest of our lives. Yes, Elaine, yes. It creates the perfect environment for reawakening. It does, doesn't it? It does something to you. I mean, Elaine, it's like we've had a minute of breathing space to plan that maybe we wouldn't normally get. Yes, exactly. Because you just go. Like I went from a kind of a stressful, I went from a part-time job that didn't feel like a part-time job, and then I went into a full-time job that I was struggling, with learning the job, and then I was feeling sad because I missed my old job, and then it was full-time, which was a struggle, and then it's just like, and I don't have all this time, and I feel like I wasn't doing anything. I was doing some organizational stuff, which I really need to do, but apparently sometimes when you're not doing anything, your brain is still working, But I think it was just this weird, like, churning that was going on. I had a cat pass away. My mom is in the hospital. She's better now. She's fine. But, like, just so many things, personally, and, like, I don't know, really kind of shook me up. So, like Heather says, although my life was not affected by circumstances to any large degree, which is going to continue. Yay, Mom. Yeah, mom's doing great. Yes. I mean, she had breast cancer. She's fine. She had pneumonia. She's fine. Yeah. Silky's room. Hello. Welcome. Hey, so sorry about to hear about the cat passing. Yes. It was really difficult. I mean, we still miss him so much. We have his brother, but it's just it was really hard. So yes, we have a little. I don't think I showed everyone. We have a little. That's his nose, and yes. And then we have a clay print of his paw, which I did show everyone at some point. And I made a little up at the top on this bookcase. He liked to jump from the couch to the top of it, and we have like a little shrine. I don't know, a little altar. He's got his little clay paw, and I've got a little light and a little some other stuff up there. So, but just we miss him a lot. Hey, changed my channel. Name was Silky Mudstone. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. And I think you changed your avatar, so that's why I didn't recognize it. Oh, that's lovely. Shrine, yeah, it's like how like in Japanese culture they have the ancestor shrine, so like we were sort of inspired by that. Silky's your cat. Oh, that's sweet. But we don't have one of those nice little. They have all these wooden like little cabinet things and everything else, and they light incense and they put food up, and But maybe at some point we'll be able to do something a little specialer, but he's got his little space. So she's a pup. It's so good to remember them. I'm sure he's still with you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, even after he passed, like, right after he passed, like, literally, I'm like, I couldn't believe he was gone, because he just still seemed like he was there. So, I mean, and for a very long time, you know, and I'm sure he's still, you know, wherever he is, hopefully he just pops in on us and just checks up and says how we're doing. I don't know. So is she a kitten? I got a picture of his brother on my cell phone. Hold on, got if you but if you want to really see Horace, his name is Horace. I have a Whiskers Wednesday where, like, for a very period of time last year, before they stopped you being able to go live on your cell phone when you were under 1,000 subscribers, I did some live footage of them, and then one of them, I have two of them, one of them just has Horace, like, just all of him. So I've got like 20 plus minutes of just Horace being cute. She's loving getting all my attention lately. Yes. I mean, his name is Horace, and his brother's name is Eugene, and I don't know if you can see, that's Eugene, and they're both white. They're both really, really cute. But Eugene is, you can't see him. He's back there. Yeah. Sleeping behind the couch. But some of my videos, you can see Horace sleeping on top of the couches and everything, and he's in a lot of my pictures with the tarot cards, and he's just, yeah. Oh, so cute. Mine is tabby and white. Aww. I've never met a cat that I didn't like. I did meet some weird ones, though. We once lived in a house with, we had roommates, we had housemates. We had 3 cats. One of my other housemates had two cats, and then they had 1 cat someone else had. So we had like five cats, 6 cats, and it was madness. Somehow they didn't murder each other. You know how cats can be sometimes, but they were really good. But one of them was very strange, and he was super cute, but he was just very strange for a cat even. You too? Yeah. Yeah, territory. Yeah. Yeah, we had, so we're down to 1. We had 3 and we're down to 1. But hopefully one day we'll get some more. I rescued a kitten. You rescued another kitten? So Heather's group of kitties keeps growing, and involves a mountain road, a tiny kitten being thrown from the wheel well of the car in front of, what? Long story, but he's sleeping in the bedroom right now. Oh gosh. What are you gonna name him? Does he have a name? What a cat. Whew. Why would you throw a kitten from a car? It's just awful. Wow. Yes, exactly. I'm gonna put my leg back on. I'm going to finish reading because we are almost done with this section. So it's page 75. Just let's see. For me, deeper. For me, this meant becoming more and more locally based, and at this point, there's only one plant in my primary materia medica that doesn't grow here. Although even this one has found its way into my garden this spring. The materials form the base of my medicine, also primarily come from nearby. Local desert honey, wild animal fat, and ideally local farm lard soon too, fermented herbal brews, homemade vinegar, wild teas, and other traditional ways of preserving and delivering medicine. Lately, I've almost completely stopped using oils for medicine, simply because I can't make them or have them made locally. Also, fat-based salves appear largely superior to performance to me. They seem to work more quickly, creating fewer complications, and are simpler to make. White, gray, and brown. Ooh, you have to post a picture in the Facebook group. Now, like for me here, like it's harder for me to get, like if I wanted to make a salve out of animal fat, that would be so much harder for me right now. But that's really cool that she's totally like local. I think that's a lot. I mean, that's definitely like, I think that would be ideal. My eventual goal is to become medically self-sufficient, for the herbs and preparations to all come straight from this bioregion in my own hands and the hands of my immediate community. This is a very practical stance considering the soaring crisis of delivery of supplies to this tiny mountain village. But even if current times don't dictate a change, I would still need the intimacy, immediacy, and intensity of living up close and personal with my food and medicine. As I grow more and more rooted in this volcanic rock and red clay, I'm less and less able to use plants and foods from far away without hurting my heart, and the simple joy of engaging the living spirit and vital energy of the mountains and forests has become deeper and infinitely satisfying. I know that the Gala, this canyon, those forests and rivers, like my own skin, are the body of my beloved. Home has become more than a persistent longing or wordless dream. It is more than marks on maps, representing a place that might be better than where I've been before. It is more than even the ground in which the bones of my ancestors have rested for centuries. Home is a place that healed me, taught me to heal others with its help, that held me through pain, and gifts me with a wild, raw beauty each and every day. Home is a place I know by heart. Oh. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, Tangy's on. Oh. So that's it for this section. Next week we're gonna do She Has the Blood of Dragons Gathering Oregon Grapefruit. That's awesome because I don't know much about Oregon grape. Haven't really worked with it. So beautiful. Yes, Elaine, I know. I was like trying not to cry. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I know, I had that highlighted. And then that's what does the word home mean to you? Yeah, I got that one. That's so cool. I was thinking, kitties appear. What? Heather. Time stands around 4:50 for kitty appearance. Okay, all right. I will look at that later. Heather's messaged me. Oh, let me just hold on. I've got so many tabs up here. I've been looking for jobs. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There are so many people live right now. So let's go to the playlist. Yeah. So this is the playlist for the Whiskers Wednesday, and I wish I could have continued it, but I can't because I can't do live camera on my cell phone, and the kitties are never like right. Anyway, so I think it's the one that's 36 minutes. Oh, what happened? I was not happy. Oh, look after my camera battery is dead and can't find charger. Okay. Yes, I will look after. So this is the, if you want to see Horace. And then playlist. Oh my gosh. I'll play this. Creating? Sure. Yeah, Herbal Plant Wisdom. And it's, oh man, sorry. Okay, so it is, did I not say that? Oh yeah. Okay, this is the 7th song. So this is the 7th song Wild Crafting video. It's really good. He's a really great herbalist. I have never taken any classes from him, but he's really great. And then this one, I mean, they're a little, maybe I didn't, I think I listened to this one. They're a little wacky. They're good. They're good. So this is about, this is a live about identifying wild crafting plants. Yeah. So, and this is from, these are both from Herb Mentor. But I just started watching their lives. Yeah, you're welcome, Silky's. Silky's room. And I've known about them for a while. But yeah, they have a website. They have the thing I don't like is they're always plugging their website and their courses, but I think that overall they know a whole lot more than I do. I think the information is good, and I think the website is probably good, and their classes are probably good. So I think they're a good resource. You would check them out too. Yeah, and it's cool in this age of like social distancing, like everything is online. So wherever you are, you know, even more things are online. That's good and bad for herbalism, but it is what it is. At least, yeah. It's not good if you want to like get up close and personal with some of the plants. But it is good for the information and everything else. So yeah, so next week we're going to talk about Oregon grapefruit. Oh yeah, sorry, 2 thoughts. You know, we could carry on this discussion and everybody can, if everyone thinks it's cool, they could post a picture, not necessarily of your house, but maybe of your home, your land, maybe something that, you know, is from your town. I think that would be really cool, something I didn't think about to do. And we can, you know, see where everyone is from. And then, oh, thank you. Good luck this Sunday, Simon. I know, thank you. I'm a little nervous. Yes, it's big time. So, yeah, I can definitely post a picture of my own. That would be awesome, Elaine. Yes, I think, I don't know. I feel like you might have before. Maybe you showed me. I don't know. I've never seen it. Yeah, I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern time for me, and then it's 4 p.m. UK time. And everyone else will have to look up their time, but yeah, I'll hunt down my battery charger. Oh no! Well, I hope you didn't lose it, Heather. Oh no. So, and then my other thought was kind of like it'd be really cool if we had time was to work on a Materia Medica, which is what she was mentioning. And basically, it's a book that has all the information about your plants. I thought that would be really cool as we went on with the herbs. You know, we put in all this information as maybe we went on with, you know, like, so we'd get information from Susan Weed, we put that in the book, you know, or if we read another author that had, you know, was talking about burdock, we'd put that in with like drawings and pictures and all kinds of stuff. And I thought that was really a really cool idea. I'm just voicing it. I don't know if it's going to be like a formal idea because it's something I like to do myself, but I haven't had like any time because it's a big project. But anyway, so if anyone's interested, you know, just let me know and maybe we'll start something, you know, and everyone can like would be able to download the pages and you know, it's not like it's a long-term project. You know, and we don't have to put in just stuff that we've drawn, you know. I mean, we could pull pictures from online. We're not, you know, we're not selling it. We're just putting it together for ourselves. But, you know, if anyone wants to draw the flowers or plants, and we can put that in. We can take, you know, the recipes from the books, kind of like collage style. Good luck with Simon. I'll pop in and say hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Silky's Room. That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be like more people than like I've like literally our lives. There says there's 4 people in here, and sometimes it goes up to 7. But mostly it's very small. So it's going to be very big. I'm glad I'm not going to be managing that chat. So, yeah, I just don't know what to expect, but it's just, I think I'm letting this time sort of give me a little more, so I have a little more energy. I'm not working. I'm trying and being brave. And I also did that interview. If anyone knows any herbalists that want to come on and talk about herbalism, let me know. So, because I did that interview with Deanna, and I'd like to do more. So yeah, just this is an open call. If you're an herbalist and you're watching this and you want to come chat, let's chat. And you like the interview, I would watch the interview first, see if you like that. Yeah, you'll be fab. Just be you. Oh, thank you. You don't need to. Simon will keep you right. You'll be great. Yes, I believe he's got that. I think one of the reasons I get around with Simon so much is, well, he's awesome, but like he's got this fabulous, like calming, like presence, and you feel very secure, you know. And I think that comes from his job. When I heard what his job was, I was like, oh yeah, I can see that. And then I think his job is really awesome and very interesting. And I can, you know, definitely translate it onto like YouTube. And so yeah, I'm gonna keep that in mind, Elaine. I'm in good hands. Yeah. All right, so we probably should end, but I appreciate you guys so much. You know, coming and hanging out with me and talking about some herbs and some herbalism and some other off-topic things and cats and whatever else we talk about. But please hit the like button for me. And if this is in the future and you want to listen to more stuff, be more blabble about other stuff, please subscribe. Yes. So, right. And we do have a Facebook group, and it is in the description if you're interested in joining the Herbal Facebook group and keeping up with all the happenings. Heather just happened to be here. Yes, Heather, I was thinking about it, and Heather was at my first live. Heather and Tangi and Marge, they're at my very first live, and they still come to my lives. So yes, you guys were here supporting me ever since the beginning. It was so scary going live, and then we got like troll bombed. So my hair is doing very strange things. Oh my gosh, it's driving me crazy. But anyway, I guess I didn't scare you off. All right. Oh, okay. So everyone have a good night. Afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you when you're watching this. And we'll be back with Oregon grapefruit. If anyone has any awesome things you want to post about Oregon grapefruit, post it up on the Facebook group. Yeah, we'll go from there. I love the title. She has the blood of dragon. So looks like one of the common names is nope, maybe not. Okay, it's a really short chapter, but that's okay. And then we'll probably combine honeysuckle, which is super short, with In the Canyon of the Other World. That should be cool. Mythopoetic plant medicine of the land of the living. Ooh. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, but dramatic. Yes. Thanks, Jennifer. Have a great week, everybody. Yes, have a good week, everybody, and I will see you next time at 3 p.m. Eastern. Heads up, if I get another job, this might change again, but hopefully we can keep it, you know, very similar. But that's what happens. Yes. Yay! Bye, everybody.